In 1988, after his mother Laura Haddock passed away from a prolonged illness and left him a parting gift, a grieving young Peter Quill, portrayed by Chris Pratt, fled the hospital in anguish. While sobbing outside, he was taken from Earth by the Ravagers, a band of space thieves led by Yondu Udonta. Initially intended as a bounty, Yondu ended up raising Peter and developed a fondness for him. 26 years later, on planet Morag, Quill steals a mysterious orb and encounters Korath, a follower of the zealous Kree warrior Ronan. Quill, known as Star-Lord, listens to ancient Earth tunes on his cassette player while heists. Despite his success, Yondu places a bounty on Quill for stealing the orb before him. Armed with a deadly whistle-controlled arrow, Yondu hunts Quill down. Meanwhile, Ronan sends assassin Gamora to retrieve the orb, causing a rivalry with her sister Nebula. Persuading Ronan to trust her with the mission, Gamora snatches the assignment from Nebula. During tense negotiations for a peace treaty between the Kree Empire and Xandar, Ronan, commanding the Kree warship Dark Aster, vehemently opposes the agreement, driven by a desire for revenge against the Xandarians for his family's losses. Despite Nova Prime's leadership, the Kree authorities fail to restrain Ronan's assaults on Xandarian outposts. Quill's attempt to sell the orb on Xandar leads to a confrontation with Gamora, attracting the attention of bounty hunters Rocket and Groot. Their clash results in their arrest by Nova Corps and imprisonment in the kiln. Inside the kiln, Drax targets Gamora due to her ties to Ronan, but Quill convinces him to join forces. Gamora reveals Ronan's genocidal plans, prompting the group, Gamora, Quill, Rocket, Groot, and Drax, to plan their escape and prevent Ronan's destructive agenda. The team collaborates to breach Kiln's security and access Quill's ship in the hangar. Quill retrieves his confiscated cassette player from a guard before reuniting with the group for their escape. Meanwhile, Ronan meets with Thanos to discuss Gamora's betrayal. Thanos had lent Gamora and Nebula to Ronan to secure the orb, promising the destruction of Xandar in return. Quill's crew, accompanied by Drax, flees Kiln aboard the Milano, seeking refuge at Nowhere. As Drax drunkenly summons Ronan, the others meet Gamora's contact, Taneleer Tivan, who reveals the orb to be an infinity stone of immense power. In a chaotic turn of events, Tivan's assistant seizes the stone, causing an explosion. Gamora suggests delivering the orb to Nova Corps to contain its power. Ronan swiftly defeats Drax, allowing the rest to escape by ship, pursued by Ronan's followers and Gamora's sister Nebula, who destroys Gamora's vessel. Quill contacts Yondu to rescue Gamora, providing her with his helmet for survival. Meanwhile, Rocket, Drax, and Groot threaten Yondu's ship, but negotiate a truce with Quill, aiming to retrieve the orb from Ronan. Realizing the grave threat Ronan poses, Quill's group resolves to stop him from using the Infinity Stone's power. Ronan embeds the stone into his warhammer, bolstering his strength, and gains Nebula as an ally against Thanos. Quill alerts Nova Corps and joins forces with them and the Ravagers to breach Ronan's flagship, the Dark Aster, despite its devastating weaponry. After Gamora defeats Nebula, they breach Ronan's chambers but are overpowered by him. Rocket crashes the Milano into the Dark Aster, damaging it and crash-landing on Xandar. Groot sacrifices himself to protect his allies. Quill distracts Ronan, allowing Drax and Rocket to destroy his warhammer. Seizing the Infinity Stone, Quill, Gamora, Drax, and Rocket unite to defeat Ronan. In the aftermath, Quill tricks Yondu, giving the genuine stone to Nova Corps. Renamed the Guardians of the Galaxy, they have their records cleared. Quill learns of his half-human heritage and unwraps a cassette tape from his mother. Departing in the Milano with a sapling from Groot, they embark on new adventures. In a post-credits scene, Tivan sits amidst his ruined archive with a space-traveling dog and an anthropomorphic duck. Before diving into the story, it's important to highlight the brilliance and freshness of this film, particularly in its character development. Each character contributes significantly to the film's success. Rocket adds humor, Groot is universally beloved, Drax injects the story with unpredictability and humor through his ignorance, Gamora carries much of the narrative weight and introduces a touch of romance. Star-Lord serves as the perfect protagonist, and Ronan adds a dark dimension as the villain. Even Yondu, for reasons hard to articulate, stands out positively. The story itself is engaging, avoiding predictability while remaining easy to follow. A crucial quality for an enjoyable viewing experience. Though things get a bit chaotic towards the end, it's forgivable in a blockbuster, where a fitting finale is essential. On a technical note, the cinematography is excellent, and the action sequences are thrilling and satisfying. The film's runtime feels just right, and its reliance on practical effects over CGI for the aliens is refreshing. While this film boasts liveliness in many aspects, the portrayal of its villains, Thanos and Ronan, feels cliched and lacks freshness. The juxtaposition of the light-hearted Rocket with the faux grandeur of the antagonists feels awkward. a contrast that the comic book medium typically navigates more adeptly. Director James Gunn seems aware of this, as evidenced by a subversive moment where one of the heroes yawns during the customary slow-motion Walk of Destiny scene preceding the climax. Speaking of which, the climax itself, while typical in its grandiosity and destruction, is somewhat less troubling as it occurs on a distant planet rather than a recognizable city. Despite these criticisms, the film's charm largely stems from its cast, including standout performances from Benicio del Toro and Michael Rooker. The optimism of its eventual resolution and the infectiousness of its vintage Earth pop soundtrack are also winning qualities. The character's appreciation for the soundtrack mirrors that of the audience, underscoring its significance within the film. Guardians of the Galaxy offers an exhilarating journey packed with humor and unforgettable characters. It strikes a perfect balance, evoking the spirit of classic 70s and 80s films with its understated charm and minimal reliance on CGI or excessive length. Refreshing, entertaining, and expertly crafted, it's a must-see film that captivates from start to finish. That's about it for our movie recap and review of Guardians of the Galaxy. Stay tuned for more MCU Phase 2 in our next videos. As thanks for watching the whole video, here's a picture of a cute puppy. And if you have a movie or TV show that you want us to cover, just comment it down below. We'll make a video of it in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our playlist for more recaps.